This podcast is brought to you by Kiwi Design, the leader in metaquest and VR accessories. And now you can deck out your device while supporting the podcast. The metaquest 2 is a great headset, but do you ever feel things could be a bit more comfortable? Well, we have the solution for you. With lens protectors, controller grips, face covers, head straps, link cables, headset stands, and more, including my two personal favorites, the top version controller grips with added weight and an extended handle, and the Kiwi upgraded Elite strap. Let's be real, we've all whacked our controller. Don't be the guy messaging Oculus support for your own mistake or waiting weeks for an out-of-stock controller. Visit the link in our show notes to prepare yourself today. After visiting the link in our show notes, make sure to use the promo code Ruff Talk VR at checkout, all one word, to take full advantage of your savings. And make sure to click the link in our show notes so the podcast gets credit and you help support us. Remember, whatever you need, Kiwi has you covered. Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Ruff Talk VR. It's another week of Monday morning news. Right? We need the button ups.
We need the blazers.
Yes, we
and
need the
better
whole
background. We need the news.
The news,
background.
yeah, some notes and everything like that. Although we do have the Ruff Talk VR notebooks.
When the weather gets cooler, I'll wear a blazer.
Yeah, it's a little rough to be doing that.
90 degrees a day is a little much.
In New England summer, but
New England, yeah.
So this week, obviously we're going to be talking a little bit of news. There's been a little bit that's happened the last week, and it's called Monday Morning News. As well, we'll talk over our trivia questions and the answers that we had for our trivia event. But before that, last week, we had done, my top 10, the Dscruffles top 10 of official
store game top 10.
Yes, games or experiences, you could say. And then, we'll do App Lab ones in the future. But since we did mine last week, it's time to do the Stratus top 10. Yep. So I figure that's probably a good spot to start. I don't know if you want to just take the lead on that. And start.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this
is what makes it weird, is it's an ever-evolving top 10. If you would ask me a year ago, my top 10 would be slightly different than it is today. So 6 months from now, if we do it again, which is probably worth doing because it'd be neat to see who stays and who goes, but it seems to be an ever-changing list.
Well, a game could come out tomorrow, and on top of that, what's interesting about yours is that we haven't reviewed every game on yours.
There is
we
couple,
will.
Yeah,
we will.
A couple on mine that we haven't even talked about.
Those on our Discord server, they always laugh. Like, does it actually exist? And yes, they're on the list. Yeah. Like, we have a list of games that we will slowly chip away on and eventually get to. But the problem is,
two of them are on my top 10.
Yeah, the problem is that sometimes games come in quicker than they, than we're able to pump them out.
There's different factors. And then, truth be told, if a developer's nice enough to give us access to the game, then it most likely will it'll take preference over something that you and I have already bought, and we seem to have a nice little library of stuff that we had gone a little buy crazy with, just to make sure we've got good stuff to review. But anyways,
I've already interrupted you enough. I'll let you take
I'll do similar to what you did last week. They're not in any necessarily ranking order, so whatever I say first doesn't mean, well, that had to be the best, and I'll save the best one of my personal top 10 for last. And I think you did the same exact thing. So first would be Walkabout Mini Golf. I think for all the reasons everyone likes Walkabout Mini Golf. It's great mini golf, and it's one of the best social experiences you can have on a Quest headset, I believe. Golf Plus, because hey, who doesn't like being able to golf? And the other day it was pouring rain. It was my birthday. I was a little bummed. I was actually going to do real life golfing at a par 3 in a couple of towns over, and I'm like, this isn't going to happen. So I actually fired up Golf Plus. I'm like, well, next best thing, I suppose. And it fits the ticket. I enjoy it. I don't necessarily actually have to play that one in a social experience to have fun. I'll still, fire it up and play it. So Golf Plus. Number 3 would be Beat Saber. How cliche, but it's one that ever since I've gotten it, I still play it. I still check my high scores to see how I'm comparing against friends that, are on my friends list, and I still find the competitiveness. Although I will say the new music packs, because I do occasionally get them, tend to be much harder than the standard Beat Saber ones that you can easily memorize. So Beat Saber seems to have, honestly, that one would have been on there a year ago. So that hasn't budged. Fourth, we haven't talked about it, but Virtuoso. It's like a music making, I don't want to call it a game because it's more like really for making music. They give you a variety of different instruments, the majority of which you've never seen in your life other than maybe drums and a harp and then some weird electrical thing that I have seen. I just can't think of the name of, but it's really creative. There's a learning curve with it. You can create, I'll say, electronic music. You can lay down a drum beat. You could do it instrument by instrument, lay down the track, set the timing, what kind of rhythm do you want so you're never out of beat. It's unbelievably creative. I can't wait to review it someday. But it's a consistent go-to to just make some music. But again, there is a learning curve because if you make something really nice and you're proud of it, you want to make sure that you saved it properly, like I did not. And you just wasted an hour with like your perfect masterpiece and it's gone forever. Red Matter 2. I mean, you could throw Red Matter 1 in there, but I'll just say Red Matter 2.
I think I actually did that for Red Matter, and I Expect You to Die.
Yeah.
You gave me some shit like,
yeah,
hey, what is it now? 12 games?
List of 10 now, stretched to 12.
But they do kind of correlate together.
But I'll narrow it. I said definitely Red Matter 2. I'll give Red Matter 1 the honorable shout out. The next one, haven't reviewed it, is Mondly, which is this is freaking awesome. This is one of these areas of VR that has so much potential, and this is really, like, to me, kind of proving it. If you want to learn a new language, this is the program to get. They give you a litany of languages to choose from, and you're going to actually be forced into, like, beginner level conversation. My name is this. I live in this country. I'm traveling on vacation. They tell you how to, say it, and they give you say it actually into your mic, and it recognizes if you say it wrong. So like in Chinese, I made it off the little intro subway, and then I didn't fare so well in the taxi cab. But it's really interesting, and I'm convinced that if we focused in on a language.
Well, this is like all language. A lot of language learning apps like Duolingo, they do focus pronunciation.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like something about being in VR in the actual situation takes it to a whole new level.
Well, yeah, because you're like your first conversation is going to be across from somebody sitting on like a train, or it could be a subway. It doesn't matter. There's just you, and they're directly across from you, and they're asking you questions.
Well, and especially if the digital landscapes environments are accurate to the area that you're learning the language, so it almost gives you a little bit of feel of it. No, not so much. But I'm just saying that for the potential of it.
Yeah, the environment. Like
if a company did the language learning and really cashed in on that, it's almost like getting you ready to travel to that country. If they did the language and the environment and everything like that.
Because you've got different levels too. You get your beginner up to hard. So your generic conversations of, my name is, and I'm traveling to whatever, and then you take a taxi ride, might ask you, are you going out to dinner? And then you check into a hotel. So you're exactly right. It would prepare you enough for like the basics, but you can ramp it up to a harder mode where you're having like more legitimized conversations in the actual language. It's really an awesome freaking program.
Yeah, I agree with what you said. Probably one of the most untapped potentials of VR.
And that's why I think when we do review it, the only way we're going to be able to review it is to pick a language that we both agree upon. And this is going to take months. This is going to take,
It has to be one that neither of us has some experience in. Like I have some Portuguese understanding.
Yeah,
that
no
might be
Spanish, no Portuguese.
Yeah.
You could throw Italian in there because it's kind of a crossover a little. If you speak Spanish or understand enough, you can kind of finagle.
I think something like Japanese or Chinese would be really cool to do. Very
hard.
Chinese
is hard, dude.
Chinese is very hard because I imagine Japanese is the same.
Again, I actually got frustrated doing this.
Something like German or Russian would be fun too.
German's probably the easiest for us being Americans.
Whereas something like
the closest to,
and Spanish is probably the most useful, but
Correct.
we have the most prior knowledge going into.
Yes, so we'll have to pick one.
There's a lot of different variables of which one to iron out, but I'm interrupting you too much. I'll let you keep going on your list.
What I think we'll have to do with the Mondly is we'll have to pick the language and then do updated little on maybe a news thing of where we're at before we fully review it. Because in the review, technically we should be able to do a lot of it in whatever language we chose. So we'll see how that plays out. But Mondly, also I really want to see someone come out with a good American Sign Language program based off of something similar to this, using the current state of hand tracking, which seems to work really, really well.
That was your big takeaway as the big thing that you liked from the VR chat documentary.
Yeah, but and VR chat can go pound salt. I want to program just like they've done for learning another language, but having that instructor in front of you, even AI.
Well, I think it would work great with the hand tracking.
Yep. And then next,
and I won't say VR chat can pound salt.
I said it. Next on my list will be Demio. I don't think it would be a top 10 list without Demio. It's no secret. You and I absolutely, from the day it came out, like, this is just freaking, I still hear the sound effects in my head whenever I talk about it.
The narrator's voice.
Yeah, they've just done everything well with Demio, and it continues to just move forward, and it gets actually better and better. So I don't see that one slowing down in the future. That's one, if you ask me a year from now, it's still on my list. Next is Unplugged Air Guitar. I like guitar in real life, and I still go back and work out some of the songs that we just absolutely fell in love with. I don't dominate the high score ranking as much, and I'm really amazed because, dude, I put some effort in, so I was happy to be on that leaderboard, but I slowly got pinched right out of there. So there are some monsters playing that game lately, but I'll probably always play it. They keep dropping DLCs. I always wish they're free, but it is what it is. Developers got to eat. And then number 9 will be Little Cities. That one probably go away in the future. I could see it.
But just for recency, I remember having a really good time with that one.
Yeah, I mean, I've always loved Cities, the actual Cities. I want to say Cities VR because there is Cities VR, which they ported over, which is equally great. But I just like the simplicity of Little Cities. It's quicker and easier to just jump into a game, build my city, have some fun. Where Cities VR is more, you got to lay your water line, your electricity, a lot more careful. So for a quick go and I just want to play, definitely Little Cities. And then my number 1, got to guess.
I'd have to say it's probably the game that we play every play session.
Yep. If you had asked me a year ago, if you asked me today, and
probably in a year or two,
ask me a year from now, it's Pop 1. It just continues to be our
number 1, baby.
And I would never have thought it with the amount of stuff out right now that it continues. And I think it's just it's quick and easy. The microphones work phenomenal. The gameplay's always typically 99% of usually upgrade days. Sometimes things can get hokey.
Yeah, every game with servers, everybody has server issues. But the reason I think it stays so topical and it doesn't fall off your list is because they stay up with updates. They never.
Oh no, it updates weekly.
The map changes, new game modes,
new seasons,
new content,
new skins,
whatever. They're always updating. So if they just stopped doing an update a year ago, that might not be on your list anymore. But they've stayed so up. Same with Demio.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and they listen to their community because there's many occasions where they've dropped some stuff and then they've had to kind of nerf it down a little because it was a little too good. Mm-hmm. So they might add something to it to make it not so lethal. But Pop 1 right now and for the immediate future will probably always be on my list.
Damn, I think that's a damn good list.
Yeah,
I'd like to revisit this in 6 months, a year, see how it's different.
I would do it every 6 months for sure because I mean, again, Little Cities, I love it, and I've been loving it since we played it.
Will it be there in a year?
We'll be there in another 6 months. I don't know. Same thing with Red Matter, too. I don't know what's going to happen month to month sometimes in the VR world.
Sometimes there is recency bias with these things. Look, GTA San Andreas somehow does come out.
That's going to be my entire 1 through 10 list.
How is that not going to be on that list, right? So, I mean, it all depends.
That's my bread and butter right there.
Yeah, and we could go. I did some honorable mentions. There's so many great games. Pretty much, if we've reviewed it, chances are we like it.
Yeah, we've never reviewed. If you look at the library of games we reviewed, there's never been one we've gone out of our way to I mean,
if we really dislike a game like that, we just won't review it.
Yeah, 11 table tennis definitely deserves tennis. Tennis VR.
You mean Elvin?
Elvin table tennis. Yeah. Elvin Archer or Elvin. That one's great. I mean, I look at my libraries, well over 150 different games in there. And what's crazy is some of them that I see at the bottom, it's like, oh yeah, I probably won't go back to those. But my top like 3 or 4 rows constantly is being shuffled around by what I play.
Oh yeah, nonstop.
It's friggin' awesome.
No,
so yeah, that's my current top 10.
It was a good list.
Yep.
And just for some I guess recent news, last week we had talked like, hey, meta accounts are supposed to roll out in August, but there's only a week left. Let's see what happens. You know, theoretically it does come out in August, and a day or two later, meta accounts rolled out.
I did mine. I linked it.
I've seen some people have some issues, but for the most part, it seems like a pretty seamless process for Quest users.
Yeah, I did link my Facebook account, so full disclosure, I'm not trying to hide. And if you read the privacy statement for Meta that you have to sign up for, it doesn't matter. But anyways, I kept my Facebook.
It by default links your Instagram as well, by default.
Yeah, but then you can instantly change in the settings after you create your Meta account.
I just say that if anybody goes to set up the account and they go, oh, I don't want my Facebook and my Instagram, back out. How do I change? Just go through the process, and then you'll be able to unlink it.
Yeah, it'll clearly show you each one and just click off. Like I didn't want my Instagram linked at the moment, so I unlinked it after I set it up. I signed into my headset, and I got the code message that I've seen people talk about. I went to meta.com.
Like it says.
/devices.
Like it says.
Like it says on your VR headset screen. And then it instantly knew on my phone that it needed the code. And I put the code in looking through the nose of the VR headset.
Didn't even take the headset off?
Nope. Hit send. It instantly said, hey, great, you're linked. And by the time I looked up with my eyeballs on the screen, that whole code thing disappeared. My headset restarted. And my library was there. I didn't have a problem jumping into any of the games.
No issues. I've read some people having issues, and I don't want to say 100% for sure in every single situation it was user error, because I've had issues pop up, and it would be annoying to hear somebody go, oh, that's 100% on you, when you know that there was just an issue. And I think I've read some issues occurring with like Rift users having some trouble. But for Quest users, the majority of the issues that I have read online seem to be stemming from either people trying to circumvent the account change. So like, I just want to play without doing it.
Well, you can, but you can't do the phone.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the phone app. So
yeah, what was happening for me is on my headset, it wasn't prompting me or anything like that. But if you go on your phone app is when I was getting the prompt. So the biggest complaints, which I agree with exactly what you said. I like viewing games on the store, on the phone more than the headset.
You can buy them anywhere you want.
Yeah, and like I'll just do it. I'll be like, what's on the, you just browse through. So the biggest complaints I've read is like people just trying to circumvent it, not wanting to do it, and then complaining that like, I'm trying to go around and I can't get on. And then I've also seen people complain when they're doing the code setup, and they're like, hey, there's an issue, but the issue is just that you need to go to the meta.com/whatever and then type in the code.
Yeah, it does tell you right under the code the exact website.
But I have seen a lot of people complain saying like, oh, I can't figure out this next step, when it's just...
Yeah, seen others say I lost my library of games. I can't find any of my games. So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, again, I can't speak to them 100% of the cases and say that there hasn't been issues, because like...
And I linked my account wholeheartedly thinking I was going to have problems.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, I'm just going to whatever they say to do, I'll do, and we'll see what happens. But I do know once I set up my Meta account and then I signed into my headset, that's when you get the code message. If you don't ever set up that Meta account right now, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen down the road.
Yeah.
But just you wouldn't get the message on the headset.
From the Ruff Talk VR personal experience, we'll say that the transition's been smooth.
Smooth and done. It took minutes.
If you're getting some issue about them about needing to enter a code, just go to the website it shows.
meta.com/devices.
If you're trying to circumvent it and you're getting issues trying to go around it, just do it.
It's eventually, that's the thing I'm not 100% on, but it seems like there's going to be a break dead date where you're going to turn your headset on if you haven't created a Meta account, and it's going to be like,
do it now or not,
you got nothing till you, but there's actually people, and I love the response. You're bitching about Facebook on Facebook. I think that's a great response, but there's people complaining about having to have a Meta account. Meta gave people what they wanted.
Yeah, no Facebook
which
account.
Was you don't have to have a Facebook account. But why are people thinking that, like, dude, I can't play a game on my Xbox without signing into my damn Xbox, because you know what? I have an account.
And there are people who never set up a Facebook account to use their Quest because it wasn't a requirement on the Quest 1.
Nope.
It's a requirement on the Quest 2. So if you're a Quest 1 user, they put the hard date that January 1st, 2023 is when the end of Oculus accounts are. And then that they would have to link up their Facebook, but that's no longer the case. Now it's that they need to switch to a Meta account.
They give people what they wanted, and other people are still like,
but no,
this is bullshit.
I agree with you. I've never played an online service that you don't need an account.
Dude, my
you need
Steam
a Steam account.
I mean, I've had my Steam account for like 20 friggin' years. It's
so I agree with you. They gave people exactly what they wanted, which is a account just for their headset that doesn't require social media.
Geez, I think more like 25 years.
So you don't need social media anymore. You can if you want. I mean, it's exactly what
people still complain though. It's crazy, and to do it on a Facebook message group is like that's just even better.
No, hey, I say this so often. My favorite is when I roll on Instagram and people are like, "Fuck that Facebook stuff. I don't support
Facebook. Sucks. Down with the corporate entity." On IG.
I know, that's my favorite.
You can't avoid it.
That's my favorite. But so yeah, for us personally, the transition's been smooth. If you are somebody who's had issues, definitely I'd be interested in hearing it. But from our own personal experience, we didn't have any issue. Nope. It's one of those things. It's I waited a couple days when I first got the prompt. I was like, meh. I never like to be the first one to do it. Exactly what you say. You expect it to be harder than it is, especially based off of what you've read. But just from our personal experience, pretty seamless. Mm-hmm. Even like you said, looking down through the nose of the headset to do it. So. And
I like the ease of connecting it to my Facebook account, just another fucking password to remember. Honestly, and I don't plan on acting a fool in VR world to get banned.
I could understand the complaint.
And then someone else did say though that he's been in Facebook jail a lot, and he never lost his Oculus account.
Yeah,
he's always been able to play games.
Yes, I believe you only lose your games if you get full banned.
Yep.
Which won't be the case anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's no longer a Facebook account that you're playing on.
Just be banned.
Now it's a Meta account.
Yeah, but it didn't even seem like, I guess that was really a big issue. So I want to know what people really had to have done to get banned by both.
Yeah. Well, like there's weird stuff where like I know people like not through gaming, just like in day-to-day life where like they'd randomly get a notification saying, "Hey, you need to submit an ID, like a driver's license, because we don't believe that you're a real account." And then like
okay.
They need to submit a driver's license.
I don't buy that.
Oh, no, that's happened. I had to submit my driver's license to do something on Facebook before.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Wow.
It happened
I'd just be wary of any program asking me for
ever since
not
the
state-regulated.
Man, after the 2016 election, there was a lot of heat on Facebook to like crack down on fake accounts. And this is the repercussion. Some people...
Thank God they never asked me for a license.
What was happening for some people...
But they already have my credit card.
Yeah, it's because I needed to run ads on something one time, and they wouldn't let you run ads unless you submitted that. In my case, for whatever reason, they maybe didn't believe that my last name was a real last name or
you were really going to spend money.
But there's people who never had a Facebook account. They bought a Quest 2, and then it said you need to set up a Quest 2. So they set up an account, and Facebook has 3 billion accounts. It's too much at scale to manage. So they would set up an account, and something triggered an auto spam filter, and then they go, "Sorry, bro, you don't have an account. Like, we're not letting you have an account."
That was a long time ago, right?
No. Like people.
It happened yesterday.
Well, it won't anymore to the Meta. But yeah, well, it's anytime you set up a Facebook account and it's your first time setting up a Facebook account, you run that gamble that they're like, "Hey, you need to submit us some actual documentation to set up an account." Or they instant ban it and go, "We believe this is a fake account. Go contact support." And now you're going back and forth with support to get your fucking gaming account set up. So it is a good transition. I think that for anybody who's saying like, what's the difference between a Meta account and a Facebook account, all of that stuff, now you just go create your gaming account, call it a day. You don't need a social media account, but I like to message people through my headset.
Yeah, because that is, you do lose, and they make it clear if you
pros and cons. If you don't have your Messenger, your Facebook account connected to your headset, how are you going to Facebook message people?
Oh yeah, but they'll tell you like in the little start screen, like, "Hey, just so you're aware, this is what you get if you don't do Facebook, and this is what you get if you do Facebook."
Yeah, me personally, it's keep the just transition to the Meta account.
I don't care.
Keep the social media
one less
hooked on
password I have to remember, and I don't see what the difference is if the same company owns the freaking software anyways.
Well, again, the difference.
It's a moot point to me.
The difference is just that you can't lose your games off getting banned. That's the only difference.
I could care less because I'm not doing anything to
but
get
again,
banned.
I could see the.
So why are people who are that bad like putting up the fight?
Well, and the reality is that again, with 3 billion accounts, sometimes things that trigger bans and stuff is wrong. Like the system doesn't always get it right. People have lost their accounts for like things that they really weren't doing anything wrong.
There's always the 1%.
Yeah, so I think it's good that hurdle doesn't exist anymore. I'm
probably
pretty sure,
even in this case with people trying to set up their accounts.
Exactly. That's why I said I can't say 100% of the time it's user error. But check this. Now I'm curious. So like you have your social media account hooked up to your Meta account. I'm sure if your Facebook account got fully banned, nothing would happen to your Meta account, right? I mean, that would make sense. So
you just linked it to your Facebook account.
So now go be a scumbag on Facebook and not
go to Facebook jail and don't worry about not being able to play in VR.
Well, again, it wasn't Facebook jail. It's when you get full ban that it seems like you lose your access.
For what it's worth, Steam, which is a great platform for like Counter-Strike, has anti-cheat methods in, and they are vicious.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
And notorious for if you get caught once, it's not like you get a little slap on the wrist. You lose your Steam account. See you later. You can buy a new one. They're cool with that. But yeah, you'll lose your Steam account.
Yeah. No, Oculus isn't the first, or Meta's not the first gaming platform to exist that requires online accounts.
No, they just get the most hate for it. All right.
So what's also interesting though is Zuckerberg was on the Rogan podcast, the Joe Rogan Experience, which I always, that was a dream episode of mine. I was like, why hasn't Zuckerberg ever done, Rogan? He just did Lex Friedman's podcast the other month, so I was waiting for it, and then I wake up and I see it drop, and my worlds kind of collided. They're talking VR, they're talking, it's a podcast. They talk some jiu-jitsu and some MMA in it. I love jiu-jitsu. I've been training 12 years. It's a big part of my life, and now I find out Zuckerberg grapples. That was pretty cool to hear. But right off the get-go, first 10 minutes, they announce next Oculus headset is dropping in October.
So here's my question: is it in fact dropping in October, or is there more information coming in October?
So first my interpretation was kind of 50-50 on the first line he said.
Yeah. Where
he said like, in October, we're releasing our next headset, like more information at the Connect. It was the exact wording was a little unclear, but then later he does reiterate that our next headset that we're shipping out in October. Now, if by shipping out he meant just shipping to like supply lines, warehouses, and stuff, that would be weird to word it like that. That would be strange.
So
I interpret that as they're releasing it in October.
I meant that 50-50.
When they released the Quest 2, I believe that they announced it officially 2 weeks before it released. That's Meta's game.
Either it's coming in October or new news is coming in October.
I'm guessing. I think it's pretty clear that it's coming. See. It's coming in October.
We'll see in October.
Folks. But they Cambria's been the next hyped headset, so I'm interested to see the price point when they start dropping info.
Over $1,000, right?
They say more than 800. They've said more than 800. There's some leaks and reports that I've seen 1,500. I've seen 1,200.
I've seen over like 800. That 1,000 to 12 seems to be the ballpark I keep seeing.
It seems like over 800 is the for sure. How much? I don't know. That's the speculation.
And then is it like accessories that you can add on that jack it up to that 1,500?
And here's the thing: they've said that it's more like enterprise work based, less about
it's a
gaming.
Business headset, yes.
But all the stuff that's been teased about it seem to be gaming things. Well, even
most business apps are pretty freaking boring.
Yeah,
to look at. No matter how productive they might be, even if you could live inside Excel or.
Even on the JRE episode, they talk about an internal demo that they have since the headset's not out yet. It's a fencing app. That's gaming, right? So it's like, all right, maybe this is a business headset, but is it made for me? No.
Maybe they're calling it the business headset to justify the higher price tag.
Probably, but am I their ideal market in this as a gamer? Doesn't sound like it. Is it priced for me? Doesn't sound like it.
Nope.
But do I want it?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
So I mean, I'm excited to see more news. It sounds like from the way it was worded, it sounds like we'll get more news about it at the next Connect event, which I'm pretty sure is also in October, and then the full release will come in October at some point. But I'm excited to see.
We'll see.
I'm excited to see, the more info. Like I said, the final price. There were some rumors floating that there was going to be like a Quest 3 and then a Quest 2 Pro. Like I'm curious to see what
Let's see what they say in October.
Yeah, I'm curious.
I'm sure it's going to be more than just the Cambria they're going to talk about.
Maybe we'll finally get some GTA news, either good or bad.
Yeah, nobody's talking anything.
We're getting
they're
more
notorious
and more
for that too, and you can't even trust leaks because they'll put out their own leaks that are bullshit sometimes.
Well, and like we've seen it with games. When they announce a game, when they say, "Hey, this is the release date," same thing that they do with their hardware. It's usually right around the corner. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure when we really hear GTA news, just like when we really hear Cambria news,
although they're gangsters, they could just come out tomorrow and be like, "It's for sale Friday."
That's what they've done. Remember when at the
Merry Christmas,
when they announced Blade and Sorcery, surprise coming to the Quest? I think it was coming out either a week or 2 weeks later. When these games get announced like that with footage and everything, most times they have it right around the corner. So I imagine that'll be the case for Cambria. That's what they did for Quest 2 with their hardware. Yeah. They announce it, it releases.
October's going to be an interesting month regardless.
Yeah, and 2023 is shaping up to be real interesting for the world of VR because we have, the Quest 2 is not going anywhere. Developers are just now really getting the hang of it. You're going to hear that in our review of Red Matter 2 on Wednesday. Quest 1 support's going to go, so these Quest 2 games are going to get better, because they don't have that Quest 1 requirement. Developers are going to get better and better at optimizing the headset. So the Quest 2 isn't going anywhere. Then we're getting the next Meta headset, the next Oculus headset, which, by the way, it was really funny on the Rogan episode that, Rogan kept referring to it as an Oculus and not a metaquest or anything like that. Oculus was just such good branding. They had the Kleenex effect. You think VR, you think Oculus. He even mentioned that his friend Brian Redband does like the virtual Redband on his Oculus. I'm pretty sure Redband doesn't use an Oculus. He uses a Valve Index, I'm pretty sure. But there's such brand recognition with VR and the name Oculus. So that was an unfortunate one for them to let go.
No, I totally agree.
So besides, the next Oculus coming out, or Meta, whatever you want to call it, then we have Pico's presence is growing in VR. They're owned by ByteDance, the company that owns TikTok. Mm-hmm. So just another tech giant coming into the VR world. But your data's going somewhere, folks. That's the way it goes. I wonder if they'll make you have a TikTok account, when Pico really hits the market.
That'd be classic.
But they're in Asia. They did their Europe release. They haven't done a North American release yet, which is like the big hindrance, I guess you could say, in them really being popular. But they're investing a lot of money in VR. We are not at Gamescon this year. It's a gaming conference in Germany.
We were invited, though.
Yeah, well, people are asking if we're going, but unfortunately,
because we did have an invite from a developer
to check out some of their stuff. But hey, maybe one day we'll be full time and all that stuff.
Podcast.
Yeah, maybe one day we'll be full time and we'll be able to do all that stuff. But apparently, the word at Gamescon is that Meta had no presence. And Pico was everywhere. In fact, some of the developers were even testing their games with Pico headsets. So, Meta's rolling out a new headset. Pico's getting heavy in the market. Let's see what happens with the Apple headset. Maybe it actually does release 2023. Maybe. We'll see. I heard 2022, and now it's 2023. Maybe the Apple headset will actually come out. But if we have Cambria, if we have Pico hitting the market, and we have Apple coming into the market, things are getting fun, man. No, I think 2023 is going to be a fun year for VR.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. And then I think that's about it on news the last week. We just did a news episode last weekend, so I don't really think that...
There hasn't been too much news, but there's always news.
Yeah, well, there's not like a load of news, but the news that has dropped has been big. Meta accounts are out.
What's cool is these other headsets start dropping. It's going to weed out the weak real quick.
Mm-hmm. More opportunities for developers, too.
Exactly. It's a win for everyone, the consumer, the developer, and certainly selfishly on our end of things.
Yeah, for the reviewer, everybody wins the more people who come to market. I mean, Pico's headset that's out right now is pretty much like a carbon copy of the Quest 2, just with their software. I think that their next headset's going to be a little higher powered. It sounds like maybe a carbon copy of Cambria or whatever.
We'll call it the Bambria.
But, again, just the more people in the market, the better. PlayStation VR is coming out.
It's a win for everyone.
They announced on all their social medias except North America that PlayStation VR is coming 2023. it's weird that it didn't get announced on the North American. The only thing,
something had to have happened, because to not do a holiday release for something like that it's almost a shot in the foot.
Do you think that they didn't announce the PlayStation VR 2023 on the North American PlayStation because it's going to release in North America for holiday 2022? That would be strange to just release it in America. I agree.
No, I think something happened. But why? It wasn't ready.
Well, why wouldn't they announce it on their North American one, but all the other PlayStations? Unless it was not supposed to be announced and somebody messed up somewhere on the marketing.
I have no answer for that news,
That's
sir.
a very interesting one. But, PlayStation VR 2 coming out in 2023 as well. I don't know. 2023 is going to be a fun year for VR. So, you want to go over a little bit of our trivia?
Sure.
Okay. So, I'll read a little bit of... I'll read the questions and then the correct answer, because our trivia event has ended, where we're giving away a mug and a T-shirt.
Kudos to those that participated.
Yeah, I mean, look, let's be real. This type of feedback, we had some feedback questions at the end. How did you discover the podcast? Some questions if we started a Patreon server, things like that. And you know what? That type of feedback for us as podcasters is beyond priceless. So I'll start right into it. The first question I have on here was, and it's funny, nobody got this one wrong. So that's good to know. What are the hosts' relationship to each other? Everybody who filled it out got this question right. The options were high school friends, father and son, college roommates, or brothers. Pretty sure it says it on the podcast description of our podcast. So we're father and son. So happy everybody got that one. The next question was, what game do the hosts start each play session with the choices being Population 1, Beat Saber, Demeo, or Walkabout Mini Golf? If we started every play session with Demeo, we would play no other game. Although they do have the save game feature, which is useful, but that's definitely a long one to do before. So the correct answer is Population 1. That's what we start every play session with. The next question is, who is the woman who says the intro in the beginning of the podcast? The majority of the people got this one right, but almost half the people did another answer on this one. I'm like, The question. So the answers are potentially Stratus's daughter / Dscruffles' sister, because for it to be your daughter, it would also be my sister since we're father-son.
It's not a riddle.
Nope. Hired voice actor. This is another option. Dscruffles' girlfriend or Stratus' girlfriend. The correct answer is that is your daughter, my sister. The one that half the people picked almost was my girlfriend. No, my sister is not my girlfriend. Fucking.
Not in this state.
No. I actually thought hired voice actor was going to be the next chosen one, so I was surprised when that answer kept popping up. So then the next question is, what is the podcast pooch's name? This is another one everybody got right. Would you believe that? Not a single person got this wrong. So what is the podcast pooch's name? The choices were Sammy, Ruff, Reggie, or Oculus. I love VR so much that I named my 12-year-old dog after the former brand name of VR. So the correct answer is Reggie. He's the podcast pooch. Very, very important part of the podcast. The producer, if you're watching on video, sometimes you'll see him sleep, maybe even twitch a little bit in his sleep. It's what he does. So next question, how do Stratus and Dscruffles voice chat when they play games together? Choices are Oculus Party Chat, be in the same room together, in-game chat, or cell phone with speaker. Cell phone with speakerphone. I'm glad nobody chose that one. Could you imagine? So the correct answer is we use the Oculus Party Chat. I think that's the best quality voice chat besides Pop 1. That's on par with it, but the Oculus voice chat is just always crisp and it works. Next question. What is Stratus's real name? The choices are, and I'll give the people who got this one wrong, I'll give them a little slack. Obviously, it's still a wrong answer, but I see how they made the mistake here. So the choices are for you. Stratus's real name: Ryan, Brian, Alan, or Sean. I'm sorry, the last choice was Steven, not Sean. Steven. So the correct answer for your real name is Brian. Yay. But a couple people did pick Ryan.
Yeah, that's close. Steven is your grandfather's name.
So. Yep. And I get how they would choose Brian if they were just listening quick. And like that could have...
Well, it's only been brought up a couple of times.
Yeah, so Brian, Ryan is kind of... But the correct answer is Brian. Next question is...
And it's with a Y, too.
There's no I's in this one. It's Bryan. Big differential there, right? So next question is, what question does Dscruffles always like to ask the guest? Man, everybody got this one right. I was happy to see that. Choices were, what is your least favorite game? Who was your biggest influence? What was your first VR experience? Or what is the best game currently on VR? And the question I asked everybody was, what was your first VR experience? Next question. What game made Stratus sick the day he got his Quest 2? The choices were Epic Roller Coaster, Super Hot, First Steps, the experience they have you when you first load into the Oculus, or The Climb. The correct answer that rocked you was Epic Roller Coaster. The game put you through the works. So next question, what day does the podcast normally record on? This is a hard one, man. You have to be really attentive to. I think that there's been a couple times that we've slipped it in of what day we record. But, some people got it right. But this one had the most spread out answers. So the choices were Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Like a religion, we record on Sundays. So that's the day we record on Sunday. So last question, what is Dscruffles' name? Choices are Damien, Daniel, Samuel, or Dustin. My name's Damien. So real names over here are Damien and Brian. We don't say it often.
I wouldn't have named you any of the others for what it's worth. So.
Well, hey, you know what? We won't say what it is, but fun fact, we actually share a middle name. Check that out. We'll save that one to sneak in on someday, but not today.
That's a good one.
Yeah, we won't say it today, but it's fun. But you know what's interesting about the Dscruffles and Stratus thing? We talk about dropping it sometimes, but I think I have no problem calling you Stratus. Ask Stratus over here the question. But I don't think I could say that Brian. Go ask Brian this question.
No,
but then it would also be weird to refer to you as Dad. Yeah. During the podcast.
That slips sometimes when we're playing Pop 1 and shit.
Oh, and you can feel the weirdness. Yeah, you feel it.
Dad,
what? What was that? Without the person saying anything, you'll feel it. So if we were interviewing somebody, I'm like, yeah, that's my dad's name over there. It sounds weirder than saying that's Stratus's name.
No, what we should do is let our Discord pick acting names per se.
No, because then we'll be Stratty McStratface.
No, and you don't have to take it. But let them come up with the name, a real name. Because I would gladly use my name, just not my real name. Yeah. I just don't want to use something like Stratus.
Yep. I am John
certain
Henry.
Cases, it just sounds weird.
I'm John Jefferson.
But that's an avenue that needs to be crossed.
Yeah. But I mean, so we've talked
a stage name.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah, we could have stage names, which we kind of have with Dscruffles and Stratus. Sometimes it is a little awkward.
A real one though.
Yeah, when we ask, developer goes, "What's your guy's name?" When we go, "Well, it's really Damon and Brian," but on the podcast, it's Dscruffles and Stratus. But again, it would be weird to go Damon and Brian. Then I can't say Brian. That just sounds weird referring to you like that.
That's why stage names would work.
But then I go, "Oh, my dad," and I feel like it might interfere with the flow.
Just weirder.
It just might interfere with the flow of the interviews and stuff like that. But
so no, kudos to those who did it. They did a great job.
Yeah. So, anything else you want to go over today, or you want to wrap this baby up?
No, I think we're good.
Yeah, come on, man.
There you go. I even called in law enforcement to help us.
Right, we've been playing some Thief Simulator.
I got caught. You can't do Thief Simulator in real life. You can only do it in VR.
I've been joking. Get
the hell out of here.
I've been joking. That's my practice getting a Cambria simulator.
Dude wants his new fucking smashed up his toilet. I don't even take nothing no more. I just go in there and wreak havoc.
Fuck yo toilet. That's too funny.
Yeah.
So
it was a good week.
Yeah, fun week in VR.
I look forward to your top 10 App Lab. Yes,
games. I'm actually very interested to hear yours. Not only coming up, but I'm excited to hear both the official list and the App Lab list in a year from now.
Oh, definitely.
So, stay tuned for the rest of the week's content. I'll spoil that we got a Red Matter 2 episode coming on Wednesday, and then we got something fun on Friday as well. So stay tuned for that. 2023 is going to be a fun year in VR.
It's going to be nice.
And
new shirts.
Come on, man. We got some merch. We got some new mugs with the new logo.
I really like the new logo.
Come on, anybody who's just listening on the podcast, this doesn't mean much, but you can go join our Discord, and you'll see pictures of it. We've been posting pictures, but we got new shirts, new mugs. The mugs just come in black with that nice slick logo. The print on is actually really, really, really nice. I'm happy with it. We got shirts, multiple different colors. I'm rocking a purple one right now. Stratus has got a black one. Again, print is real nice, but
I'm not complaining.
It feels nice too. So we got our official merch.
Yeah, dude. I wasn't. I already told you when you said you were getting them. I'm like, dude, that shirt better be comfortable because if it's not, it's just gonna sit right next to me right here.
Especially after we have the quality of True Classic as a sponsor. Yeah. It's like their shirts are so good.
I've been wearing those all week as well.
Then I know, man, they're so good. A dream would be if they could print our
merch
shirts.
I usually wear only like a printed tee if I'm not doing the solid color black. But
I hopefully we can keep them as a sponsor, and one day we see True Classic Ruff Talk shirts.
Ruff Talk alligator logo,
right? Because if it's True Classic, it's probably real simple, But I love the print and the material quality is real nice.
Yeah, it's not messing.
So you can find our merch store, which I feel like most people don't even know we have. You can find that in our show notes, and you can also go to our website, rufftalkvr.com, and click the store or merch button, whatever it says, and boom, then you can go shop. Help support the podcast, get a nice coffee mug. Who doesn't like coffee mugs, right?
All right. Matthew McConaughey.
That's one of the most iconic movie scenes. Come on, man.
You want to try some of that merch? All right. The host from, I'll say it because he does it, and I know it's a shout out, is Will Willis from Forged in Fire. He always does that. What did you build? All right.
Come on, man. I rewatched that during COVID. Like when everything, that was like one of the many, cinema pieces I rewatched. And that's a great freaking movie with the stupidest plot line.
Of course.
That goes freaking nowhere.
It's just the time period and experience.
Yeah, but he really nailed that role. That was a good.
Yeah.
Because he's not even a main character in that. Like he just freaking.
No.
But anytime he rolls in, you're excited.
You can go anywhere and just probably any country and just be like, all right.
How much did that role make his career?
It helped him a lot.
Come on, man. How do you not want him in movies after seeing that?
I would rather see Matthew McConaughey do funny shit.
Yes, 100%.
Because I think he's more of a method actor too. So it's like he's dangerous doing serious shit. Keep it, funny and simple.
Yeah, no, I agree. 100%.
That's a dude who will sacrifice the shit out. All right. All right, I'll stop.
Yeah, we went a little sidetracked, but
we'll start stealing that.
Like I said, we could talk. I think somebody said maybe it was shoes or something, but somebody said we could talk about a glass of water for an hour, and that's true.
I can talk about a glass of water. I even have that foundation. How it's.
Hey, we're gonna be rolling out a Patreon server pretty soon. We're just ironing out benefits and costs and all
charge people to listen to a glass of water.
What can we offer? Maybe if we did an occasional fun bonus episode that wasn't related to VR, just anything, that would be a fun little thing. But not necessarily saying we're going to do that either. I'm just throwing out ideas.
Sweet.
All right.
All
right. Check if you enjoy this episode, subscribe, rate us 5 stars, go join the subreddit, the Discord, and stay tuned for Wednesday and Friday. It's a fun week. Pow pow.
Talk to you later.